Hey mangoes, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you who are new here, hi, welcome. My name is Mango and I create and teach art. So today I'm gonna be doing something a bit different. Today I'm gonna be teaching you guys on how to create illustrations of your traditional food in ClipStudio Paint. So I created this illustration and a little backstory into my illustration. I'm from Pakistan and my favorite traditional sweet dish is Shahi Tukre. Actually, it's like the only traditional sweet dish that I know how to make. So basically, this is just a deep fried bread slice with syrup made out of condensed milk. So I took this picture here of this dish that I made a couple of days ago, and I'm gonna teach you guys on how to go from this to this. So the first thing I did is sketch out the illustration according to the picture reference with the G pen in subtool. Then I did a swatch palette of the colors that matched according to the food in the picture, and I began drawing. I colored in the sauce layer first and just cleaned out the edges. It's nice to sketch out your illustration first, that way you can have clearer margins for your illustration. Once I was done coloring in all the base colors, I moved on to shading. Since I put my base colors for different objects in different layers, I used the auto select tool to select the layer I wanted to shade. This helped me avoid shading over other objects that I would have to clean up later. To create the shadows, I used tapered pen and wet bleed blender to blend it all out. Shading under the objects helps to give the object on top more definition. You can check out my other video where I go into details about shading and shadows in ClipStudio. Since the sauce on the bottom is thicker than the sauce on the top, the wet bleed brush helped me give it more texture. Similarly, like that, since the bread slices are also textured and jagged, I used the same tool but lowered the density of the brush to keep more of the texture. For each object that is kept in different layers, I put those layers in different folders. That helped me keep a better track of where all my layers were. Since the sauce on the top is pretty smooth colors with a light hint of shadows, I used a color that is very similar to our base color for the sauce, adding it in places that I believe needed shadows, and used smoothing watercolor to blend it in. You can see that for this object, I used soothing water brush instead of wet bleed. That's because for this I wanted the transition of the shadows to be a lot more smoother, whereas for others I needed there to be texture. This is one of the ways how you can use a variety of different tools and brushes that are available in ClipStudio Paint according to your artwork. So since I got done with the syrup on top, I moved on to creating the next object, which is bits of pistachio and almonds. That means a lot of greens and browns. So for this whole object, I gave it a base color and put in different colors according to where I thought I needed to separate things. For some pieces, I gave basic colors and blended them out, and for others, I went in for more details to define the object. This helped give the whole object a look of it being a collection of small individual pieces of food. And that's the look of the whole illustration. And the most important part to doing the whole illustration together is to add some shadows and highlights to the whole illustration. I used tapered pen and white colors to create highlights on the sauce. Similarly, I used the same brush and added dark shadows near the ends and corners of the bread. And now when I take off the sketch layer, you are left with a beautiful illustration of your food. You can use this to create any traditional food you want from anywhere in the world. Feel free to try out these techniques and tell me what you guys think. That's all for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.